So you're doing 800 leads for the mortgage business a month?
Yeah.
And what are you charging them per lead?
We're charging $25 per broker.
You're making $75 a lead?
Yeah.
And you're doing like 800 a month?
Closer, to be honest, closer to 1,000.
Are you serious?
I'm not joking.
You're doing $75,000 a month in these leads?
Yeah.
Wow, Vanish, that's incredible.
I tell you what we've been finding that's really good is yellow page advertising.
Selling yellow page advertising?
No. Using the yellow pages as a way to find markets. Yeah, okay. I'm going to share with you, right, a really good way. We always talk about finding the money.
Yeah.
Here's a really good proven method for finding markets to make money.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
Basically, what you do, you grab a yellow pages and you pick any section. So I've got my yellow pages. Give me a section.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm going to pull out my yellow pages here. All right, let's do landscaping.
Okay, so here's the thing. You've got landscaping, yeah?
Right.
Okay, so what you want to do is two things. You want to look in the landscaping section, and you want to count first. How many pages have you got that are landscaping?
I've got 5 pages.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm in London, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now, all you want to do is this. Count the number of display ads.
30 display ads.
I got 50.
Okay.
Okay, now what you want to do is, you know that you have like the line ad, which is the free ad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Just quickly count how many of those you got. They'll most probably be in between all the other ads. Count roughly how many there are.
Okay, let's see here. I got about 150.
So what you got is you got 30 display ads,
okay,
and 160 free lines. Yeah.
What do you got about?
Now what I got is I got 75 free
Okay.
entries. Yeah. So what I've got in my book is 50 people that have paid for an advert, and 75 people that haven't. So I've got a total market of 105 entries.
Right.
Okay, and therefore I can work out my percentages as to how many are advertisers and how many are non-advertisers. Now in your case, you had 30 people that paid for a display ad and 160 that just put their entry in.
That's true.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
and you had 190. So you can find what the people are spending money trying to generate business.
In this market.
In this market.
Okay, so I'm going to go, what am I going to divide into what?
In your case, the total number of businesses is 190.
190.
Yeah. So 30 into 190, 15%.
Yeah, 15%. So 15% are paying big money in the yellow pages.
All right. And then you've got 160, right, which are like the freeloaders. So 85% are not paying.
Okay.
Now, in my case, the numbers work out a little bit different. Yeah. But it's the same sort of ratio in that you've got a small percentage of people paying and a high percentage not. Now, the trick is this, is to find the markets where the odds are in your favour. Now, in this case, in your case, 1 in 6 is paying. Yeah. If you've got 6 names, 1's going to pay and 5 are not.
So that's giving me some market research within that industry.
Exactly. Now, in my case here, it's 50-75. A third are paying and 2/3 are not.
Okay.
So in my case, landscaping tells me that they've got a problem, haven't they? Right? Because these people are trying to get business. Therefore, if I'm going to go and talk about advertising or generating business, I'm on a success one, because roughly half of them are going to buy. So then all I need to do is channel that into a different method, and it's not a hard sell. Now, let's
give me an example of how you would pull money out of this little landscaping market.
Well, for example, what I've proven here is that landscaping in my sector, over roughly half the people are willing to pay.
For advertising in the yellow pages.
Exactly. We're paying for advertising. The yellow pages is just one form of advertising.
So that tells you what?
It tells me that market has a problem in communicating. Right? What yellow pages have done is convince them. Okay? Look in your yellow pages under accounting.
Okay.
Accountants is a good example.
Okay.
And again, look at the ratios. How many display ads are there?
Not many at all.
Not many at all.
Right.
And what you'll generally find is it's about 10%, less than 10%.
Yeah, I agree.
right? So trying to get money out of accountants for advertising, you're on an uphill struggle. See, because accountants as a group, as a market, don't see any worth in advertising because they are convinced themselves that referrals is how they get all their business. Yeah?
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding because there's only about 1 in 10 that are paying for any form of advertising.
Yeah, this Yellow Pages is a great tool to research markets.
Exactly. Now let's look at another interesting one. Let's look at, have you got something like, how about chiropractors?
Chiropractors, good idea, okay.
Yeah, okay, because that's like a medical.
Okay, yeah, oh wow, yeah, chiropractors.
Okay, and you see how instantly it hits you in the face? And you just say money, don't you?
Yeah, when you see the full page ads.
Exactly, and all you need to do is this, is count, and you just do 2 numbers. You only have to count 2 numbers. Display ads, and whatever the free. I mean, obviously, in your book it might be slightly different. I don't know how the entries are. But people are showing you their dollars. They're showing you their checks.
Yes, they are, and especially when you see large half-page and full-page ads.
Exactly, because you know that per square inch, I mean, if you wanted to get real scientific, you just count the number of inches.
Okay.
And then if you count the number of inches and divide it by the number of entries, you know what the spending dollars are. Now, isn't it funny how if you look at chiropractors, you can see how, and all you have to do is this, is find a market, right? Generally, this is where we call like the killer market. If you can find where there are more people paying to advertise than people not,
you've got a good market.
That's it.
Look at plumbers. Look at plumbers. I mean, it's full page after full page after full page after full page after full page.
Because that market has got money now. I'll tell you what's a really good one.
Let's look at dental. Dental's big. Here's dentist. Yeah, this is like the plumbers.
Yeah. You can visually, you don't even have to do the count, do you?
No, you can tell that these people advertise. They've got money to advertise.
Now, here's the thing, okay? The Yellow Pages is a good example, right? Do you know how much it costs for a half-page ad in a Yellow Page?
It's very, very expensive.
Yeah, okay. So what you can obviously ring up your local Yellow Page rep and find your market and say, I'm considering putting an advert half-page in this section. And he'll give you that almost straight over the phone, won't he?
Yeah.
Right? So now what you know is how much they're spending, right? Almost to the penny. Now, what that means is you know that market is already, you're not having to convince it on advertising or in marketing or generating leads. And all you've got to do is this. You've just got to do one little bit step further than Yellow Pages. Yeah? And so a market strategy that we use, okay, is this. We take a Yellow Pages section and we find the money. Say dentist as an example. You know they're already spending money and you can work out almost to the dollar roughly what they're spending per month on Yellow Page advertising.
All right.
Okay? Now, here's the thing. You've got a copy of Yellow Pages in front of you and I've got a copy of Yellow Pages. What's the call to action?
It's a phone call.
What Yellow Pages is delivering to the advertiser is a phone call. So they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to get the phone to ring. Now, what we do is this, is we just say, we will do exactly what Yellow Pages does, but we'll do it at a higher degree. When you ring up a dentist, and what do you think the first 3 questions you're going to be asked?
You'll call and they'll say, this is so-and-so dentist. They'll ask for your name and maybe your phone number, maybe even not. If you're calling the dentist out of the Yellow Pages, you're probably considering their services.
Right, okay, so you're going to ask some questions, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, and they're going to ask you some questions back, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Okay, each market is going to do the same thing. And what we do is this, is we research a market and we play mystery shopper. And we find out the first 5 questions that the market asks everybody. Okay? They're just the generic questions that the market will ask prospective customers.
Okay, so I'm going to call 10 dentists, I'm going to act like I'm interested in dentistry, and I'm going to write down the questions that each one of those 10 dentist offices ask me, and look for the common denominator questions.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now what you've got is the 5 main questions that they ask everybody.
Correct.
Okay, so what we do is we then take that onto the online world. Okay? Because you can do the same form of advertising as Yellow Page,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you can literally buy pay-per-click clicks, send them to a website, okay? Say if someone's looking for a local dentist. They're doing the same search as they would in the Yellow Pages, wouldn't they?
Yes, they are.
But they're just doing it online.
That's correct.
Okay? So then you go in and you set up a website that gets them to come to the website, and you do a little bit of sales copy, but basically what you have is a form. And that form has the first 5 questions.
For instance, like, what?
Well, let's say the dentist might ask, well, let's take it back. We haven't targeted the dentist market, but we'll do a different market that we have done an example. Let's take somebody that's going to do a chiropractor.
Okay, chiropractor.
Yeah, for your back. Yeah? Then they're going to contact you. They're going to obviously ask for your name, your address, the usual contact details.
Right.
Okay? But then they're going to say, they're going to ask questions like, for chiropractor, what I found in doing my research is part of the reason that people ring is because they've got a problem with their back and they want to find a chiropractor who will be covered by their insurance.
Okay.
Okay? So the question they have is, who's your insurance provider? Yeah, that's the first question the chiropractor will ask.
Okay.
Okay, because either you're a private client and you're paying yourself, or it's going to be done through an insurance claim. Yeah? So there's some questions that go through there. There's some questions about the specific back problem they have. Yeah, is it work-related or home, etc. So you can build a couple of simple questions. And that's a form, isn't it? A web form.
Yes, it is.
So what happens now is you get some traffic that comes in. You have a 3-page website. Page 1 basically offers them the chance to find the chiropractor that's specific to their requirements. Then what we ask is just simply first name and email address. Then we present the complete form and say, right, fill that in and your details will now be forwarded to a chiropractor in your area. Yeah, so we get their name, address, usual contact details, and the first 5 questions that the chiropractor would typically ask. So now what we've got is we've got a lead. Now look at the postcode of where that person is, and I go to the Yellow Pages, right, and I find a bunch of chiropractors in that area, and I contact them, and I say, hey, I've got somebody that has got this problem, okay? And so rather than get them to say, hey, would you just like an advertising here and, the phone call, we've got this person pre-qualified. We've already asked those 5 questions. And so you sell them a lead. What we do, obviously, is we don't send them the lead. We send them to a website where they can pay for a few $100s, right, okay, and buy 10 leads for people that are within their vicinity. Let me tell you, the profit margins on that are really good.
So tell me, are you doing this with chiropractors?
We're not doing it with chiropractors. We're doing it with a slightly different market, which is the mortgage market.
The mortgage market, okay.
Yeah, but it can work with printers. We've been doing it with printers because if you look in the printing section, that's a good example. So what we just do is approach the people that are advertising and say, okay, well, what does Yellow Pages deliver? Well, basically, Yellow Pages delivers you the phone call, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, and that's it. But Yellow Pages is a generic product. It's just paper. So the only thing that you can have is the phone number. Then you've got to be there to answer it, and you've got to go through these questions, haven't you? Now, we can get a website to do all of that.
So you've got these mortgage brokers paying you per lead?
Yeah.
Are you producing a large amount of leads?
We're producing, I'll tell you roughly, we're producing about 200 leads a week. Now, here's what we do, which is really good. Let's take your chiropractor example. Okay. He's filled in the form. He's answered some basic questions about what his problem is. Now, we don't sell that lead to one chiropractor. We sell it to 3. Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because if you sell it to one person, it's one of these things where there's a bit of a touchy-feely thing. It's a bit like if I said, right, you've got to go to that cinema. You've got a cinema that's showing 3 or 4 places of the same film, isn't it? But you've got your favourite one because this one's nicer because it's easier for me to park, or, this one's got more fun. Yeah? So what happens is, by getting 3 chiropractors in front of the prospect, they're going to pick one.
Do you tell the other 2 mortgage brokers that the lead's going out to their competition?
It's not going to their competition. That's not the way it's projected. The truth is this, you can't be everything to everybody, can you?
No.
So what we do is we say it's going to go to 3, and only 3, and then the reason it goes to 3 is because in that way the client will pick one of them. If it's only going to 1, the odds of you getting it right are going to be low.
Yeah, that's true.
So what we do is we pick 3 because that causes a good marry-up.
Yeah, and it causes those 3 to be on their best behavior and give their best service.
And we let the market forces because, if we sell it to 1 and he does nothing and it sits on it, who gets the blame? We do.
Right.
Because they say, it was a bad lead. Now, if there are 3 of them and 1 happens to sit on the fence, well, the other 2 will then fight it out and win.
So you're doing 800 leads for the mortgage business a month?
Yeah.
And what are you charging them per lead?
We're charging $25 per broker.
You're making $75 a lead?
Yeah.
And you're doing like 800 a month?
Closer, to be honest, closer to 1,000.
Are you serious?
I'm not joking.
You're doing $75,000 a month in these leads?
Yeah.
Wow, Vanish, that's incredible. $75,000 a month selling leads to mortgage brokers per month through this one idea.
Yep. And that is one market.
And are you doing other markets also?
We have been doing tentatively 2 or 3 other markets. The main thing is building the infrastructure in place.
Right. How long did it take you to set this thing up with the mortgage broker?
It's taken about a year.
Yeah. And when you say we, who is we?
Oh, okay. I have a guy that does all the web stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously we have to get in the search engines and all the pay-per-clicks and everything.
So this is your baby, though.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I've sort of stumbled into.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, and this is a bit that really just knocks my socks off. We generate 1,000 leads in a month. Typically, we'll get about 10,000 visitors. Yeah, so we convert about 1 in 10 visitors that come to our site into a lead. And here's the great thing. All we do is we capture the name and email address, and then we ask them to fill in a form asking a couple of questions.
All right, let me ask you a question. All right, so when they come to the site, the first thing they see is a little bit about the mortgage broker type thing.
We provide a mortgage broker service.
Now, you're asking them at that page to put their name and email address.
All we ask is if they're interested in getting in touch with mortgage brokers that can find them the best mortgage.
Okay.
Right? Then click here.
Okay. And then click here. Do they have to fill out their name and email address before they click?
Then what happens is we get a page that kind of restates the offer and says, right, please provide your first name and email address.
But before they get to that page, do they have to enter their name and email address?
No. It's 3 pages. Page 1 is the landing page.
Yep.
Okay.
Click here for more information.
That's right. They may, for example, it might come through a pay-per-click or through one of our traffic partners.
Okay.
Okay. So they get a landing page, and it basically says, if you want to get the best mortgage deal, we provide a specialist service. We've got a bunch of mortgage brokers in your area that will help you get the best mortgage deal that you need.
Okay.
Click here.
Okay. Then you're taken to?
Then you're taken into the first part of the form. Yeah. So what we do is we just have a 2-stage form. First one is first name and email address. Then when they click OK on that, then they're given a set of questions that they must complete.
After they click OK, after you've caught their name and email address.
Exactly. Because what happens a lot of times is when people go there, suddenly we'll ask a question like, what's your outstanding mortgage? Now, if you haven't got that to hand, odds are you're going to abandon the page, aren't you? And the way the computer system is worked, an hour after they go on to page 2 of the form, if they haven't completed that, they'll get an email saying, don't worry if you haven't got any other questions or there's a bit missing, don't worry, we can come back. Yeah. So we've got an autoresponder series that keeps getting them going from page 1 to complete page 2.
Okay. And
that goes for the next 4 weeks.
Is that pretty effective in getting them back?
Yeah. That's the reason why we set that split up. What the first name and email address. And actually, we've changed our business model a little bit in that if after a week or 2 they haven't completed it, we've still got their name and email address. Okay, and that's worth something to somebody.
Sure it is.
Yeah. The main thing is we get them to complete the form, and as soon as they've completed the form, okay, now this is a feature that you'll really like. Okay, here's what happens, and I'll explain a bit about the back end. As soon as you've completed application form, okay, you press the submit button. You'll then get an email saying, thank you very much, your details have now been forwarded to our mortgage specialist, and they will be in touch with you soon. At the same time that email goes to you, we send out 3 SMSs.
What's an SMS?
Sorry, a text message.
Oh.
You have like, on your cell phone, you can get messages on your cell phone. An email will go out to each of the 3 brokers, breaking down all the details. But we also send a brief version of the message, i.e. just the name and the phone number of the person to the mobile phone,
okay,
to the cell phone
okay,
of the mortgage broker.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So they may be on an appointment, and so as soon as you've pressed the submit button, typically, depending on what time of day you do the submission, you might get a phone call within the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, so they're getting these leads while these people are hot.
Exactly.
This is the end of Part 1. Please continue to Part 2. I want to thank you for listening to HardToFindSeminars.com. If you want to get in touch with any of the people we interview, please contact Michael at HardToFindSeminars.com by email. You can email Michael at HardToFindSeminars.com, or you can call 858-274-7851.